triple try. They are back in front. A rare back rowers try. And if you don't mind, the gap opened up as big as you like. You can't believe this.
Yes, hello and welcome. It's a magic day in the inner west of Sydney where it's the return to Lidcombe Oval. For 20 years, this was the home for the Western Suburbs Magpies, and today they play for the Tom Raudonikis Cup, where he played, of course, for both the Magpies and the Newtown Jets. It's amazing scenes here, suburban scenes here, gentlemen. So many famous faces around the ground, but I'm standing next to a couple of famous faces. Jamie Soward, Matt Head, g'day.
Hey, Joel.
Just a great scene, isn't it? This suburban vibe, a couple of clubs who were inaugural parts of the Premiership. It's just good to be here, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly. I think any time you come back to these little suburban grounds, it really reminds you of when you were a kid. Grew up in Wagga and playing at these grounds. Actually looking behind us, the ground's in really good nick. So looking forward to a fast open game today.
And of course, Beanie for Brain Cancer round continues for the Mark Hughes Foundation, and every player, official, fan, everyone's doing such a great job to get behind this. And did you know that brain cancer is the #1 cancer for fatalities for people younger than 40? So we've got to get behind it. It's very, very lowly funded. So we need to support the Mark Hughes Foundation, of course, Beanies for Brain Cancer. As far as this competition's going, the Intrust Super Premiership, so far so good for the Mounties. They're reigning supreme at the moment, 16 competition points on their heels. The Magpies, this is an opportunity for the Magpies, just 2 points behind them. As we turn the page, they've just been holding on and holding on to their top 8 position, have the Newtown Jets. They stay there for the time being. It's a close comp, only 5 points separate 9th position and also all the way to first. So this could be a huge win for the Newtown Jets. They are the away team though, gentlemen. The Magpies, who were struggling there for a little while, they lost their halfback in Josh Drinkwater. He went to the English Super League, but they're just starting to put it together again.
They certainly are, and they've been getting a couple of guys back from first grade. Kevin Nguama's in there, Chris McQueen on screen there. Peter Godinay, who plays hooker and that bench utility role for the NRL squad, has come in playing halfback. The squad there looking at Tyson Gamble, the big-bodied 5'8". For me, really keeping an eye on Luke Garner on that left-hand side. He's been down a little bit on form since Josh Drinkwater's gone overseas, and looking for him to have a big game today.
Jacob Little playing well in the first grade side, so Matt McKilrick, he's back playing in the Intrust Super Premiership. Jamie, you caught up with him moments ago, asking him, what's it like to be back here at Lidcombe?
Yeah, it's great, mate. I mean, hopefully get a big crowd out here today. I mean, a lot of the old boys will turn up, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a lot of stories that's come out of Lidcombe Oval. So, we're looking to turn one on today, and I guess especially against the Jets, so can't wait.
And one battle that faces out for me today is your one-on-one battle with Blake Brayley. Talk a little bit about that and how he's been going. Yeah,
Blake's a great young hooker. I mean, obviously his brother's playing first grade, so there's a bit of a battle there too. But, looking forward today. I mean through the middle, so I'll try and put as much pressure as I can on him, and we'll see how we go.
Do you take those battles personally? Do you really want to go out there and put one on the young fella?
Oh, I mean, it's always, if you win your little battles, as you'd know, it helps going a long way towards the win. So, I mean, we'll just focus on us today, and I'll hopefully do my best, and I'll be sending a lot of traffic at him.
No worries. Thanks, mate. Good luck.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, they have been brilliant for Brett Hodgson all year. The West Suburbs Magpies for Greg Maddison, the Newtown Jets. It was a devastating loss, as Sione Katoa referred to last week. They were just cruising, weren't they? Then 3 tries unanswered for Wyong claimed a very important victory for them.
Yes, certainly. And Sione Katoa mentioned that. I think in this competition, anytime you rescue lead in any game, it's going to be tough. And they did that last week. It's been a bit of a story of their season, Newtown.
Matty Head, you get to coach against both these teams for the Newtown Jets. As we look at their team lineup, who are the names we need to be looking out for here?
Yeah, well, I think it's their 1, 7 and 9. Kennedy, Flanagan and Brayley, they've played together in the 20 system. Newtown, they play a whole different style than what they're used to. They used to be a bash and barge type of team, but now they play with a lot of skill, and with those young spine, watch for them today to throw the ball around.
Yeah, they're a damaging team, no doubt about that, the Jets. But as we said, it was a heartbreaking loss last week. Jamie Soward, you caught up with Sione Katoa, and you asked him that very question. How do they recover from that very loss?
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting last week. This week, limit the errors and hopefully get back into it this week.
Started the year in first grade in the NRL squad. What's Shane Flanagan's message to you to try and get back in that top squad?
My message, probably just hang in there. My time will come and hopefully take the opportunity.
Do you prefer playing on the wing or fullback? I like to see you in and around the ball. We've seen you score some tries for Newtown. Do you like playing fullback?
Yeah, I don't mind fullback, but I prefer wing. Yeah, just come sniffing around the rock, yeah.
No worries, mate. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Geez, a good player, isn't he, Sione Katoa? He broke his jaw in round 1 playing in the NRL. But both teams, well, gentlemen, the stage is set. It's just a wonderful, wonderful vibe here at Lidcombe Oval. The return to Lidcombe Oval. They're playing for the Tom Raudonikis Cup. Jamie Soward, I'll start with you. Who are you tipping?
Oh, at Lidcombe, I'd have to go Western Suburbs today. I'm going with the Magpies.
Well, Matty Head, you coach against both these teams. Of course, WWS is the place to go. But who are you tipping in this one here?
Yeah, great weather, fast track. As I said, the spine's going to be the difference. I think Newtown will win.
Newtown Jets for Matty Head. That's the way he's tipping there. In fact, someone's not real happy with that tip, Matty Head. The Magpies out here tipping, of course. So they're going... Matthew Head's taking the Magpies, Jamie Soward taking the Jets. But after this, kick-off in the Tommy Raudonikis Cup coming straight up right here on Channel 9. Welcome back to Lidcombe Oval. There's Big Bobby Cooper, John Singleton. They're here for the Tommy Raudonikis Cup. What a great vibe, some famous faces. And there he is, the captain, the king of the ship, if you like, Tommy Raudonikis. We'll speak to Tommy at halftime with Singo. I look forward to that chat. Here come the Newtown Jets. Of course, Tommy Raudonikis played for both the Newtown Jets and the Western Suburbs Magpies. There's young Flanagan. Here come the home side, the Magpies, with their beanies on as this stellar round. Beanie for brain cancer continues. MarkHughesFoundation.com.au to grab your beanie if you haven't done so. Compulsory. There's young Bailey Sirinen, the number 13, the son of the legendary Paul Sirinen. He came off the bench last week, did Bailey Sirinen. Try, assist, and he's earned himself a starting spot. And they've stayed true, haven't they, these fans? Look out for this fellow here, Jamie Soward, Tyson Gamble.
Yeah, certainly a big body. We spoke about him in the pre-game. Since Drinkwater's moved overseas, he's had to take more responsibility in directing this side around, especially with Peter Godinay, who's usually a hooker, a utility. He's gone into that halfback role. Brett Hodgson, he said that he's doing his best, Godinay, but it's up to Gamble to really steer the team around.
So Tommy's ready, big Bobby Cooper's ready. Not as big as he was, Bobby. He's lost a bit of weight, Bobby Cooper. And they've got the Category 1 tickets today, Singo and Tommy.
Okay.
Braden Ueli will play a major hand here. And Tyson Gamble, he is so close to an NRL berth, is this young Queenslander. And here we go for the Tommy Raudonikis Cup. It's the first leg. The second leg will be back at Henson Park at the end of the year. Flanagan, the dummy half. And rolling forward goes Vasquez. The Magpies come into this 2 points off the leaders in the Mounties. And the Jets holding on to their position in 8th. So it's a big 2 competition points coming up this afternoon. Brayley, if he's not the best dummy half in the Intrust Super Premiership, young Blake Brayley, he's very, very close. The only problem is his brother is right in front of him for the NRL squad, which is the Cronulla Sharks. They are the feeder club to the Jets, and naturally the Magpies for the West Tigers. Good set to start things for the Newtown Jets, and back to fullback goes Watson Halita. And the Magpies will start their set 32 metres out for their own goal line.
Conservative start there from Newtown. They've already had a bit of a shift to both edges. Nice little kick there from Williams. So conservative start. It's always good when you get to a suburban ground just to find your bearings early on. It was a nice start with Tina Jelesniak looking for work early on.
So Malachi back to the Intrust Super Premiership. He'll be looking to impress. There's so much depth in this West Tigers squad, with Mahe Whenua going back into the NRL. Kevin Nguama playing here as well this afternoon. Speaking of a first grader, Suaso Su earns a penalty for the Magpies.
Yeah, and it was a good set for the West Magpies. I thought their defence, I spoke to Brett Hodgson before the game, and it was all going to be about physicality for the West Magpies, and they started that with their defence, and their first 3 runs were real running hard, and they've earned themselves a penalty. The other interesting fact, Joel, is that the 2 referees. It's very hard at this competition to go from 1 referee 1 week and then into the 2 refs. So we'll see how these 2 teams work with that.
Yeah, I'll get back to that in a moment as they slide across through McKilrick. Goes deep to Godinay, double pumps, and links up now with the fullback Halita. But forced to come in and make the tackle was Evans. So the Magpies 10 away. They've been in good form. Godinay. Back to Sirinen. Sirinen, as I mentioned, he laid on a pass for a big try last week. They're staring at the post here. McCurrick goes wide. Gamble. There's the kick. They're coming through. He has been brilliant all season. Tyson Gamble. And Tony Tarley scores the first try in the Tom Raudonikis Cup.
Beautiful work here from Tyson Gamble. He sums up the situation. He can see Williams tries to get off his own line. Tarley knows it's coming on. A beautiful rehearsed play from Western Suburbs. They hit the lead. 4-0 kick to come.
Well, you see it often. A penalty leads to a try. That was the case. They shifted it to Tyson Gamble. He rolled the dice, excuse the pun, and Tony Tarley scores the first here at Lidcombe Oval. And now the man with the try assist. A chance to take the Magpies to a converted try lead. Gamble moves in. He's 3 from 3 for the season. Make that 4 from 4. Magpies 6, Jets 0.
Yeah, with a good play from Newtown early in the tackle count. Every team does it. Doesn't matter what competition it is. The fullback stands in the defensive line, and early in the tackles, you can have a look at that. The big thing from coaches and players, you've just got to back your ability to get that kick in, because obviously we know if it goes dead, it's 7 tackles. But when it's an early plan, like it looked like it was there from the Magpies, they back their kicker. Beautiful kick behind the line. Great try, Magpies.
Of course, Tommy's been having a bit of a hard time. He too is battling his own illness, and but he's a fighter, isn't he? You wouldn't want to be an illness tackling Tommy. And we look forward to having a chat to him at half-time. We said, look, we understand if you don't want to have a chat, Tommy, but he was up for it, as he always is, and he's got his stablemate, John Singleton, joining him at half-time. So we look forward to that. What a champion. What a wonderful bloke. The pair of them, really, as Nagama goes short side and off to the English Super League. Kevin Nagama off to St Helens. So does that perhaps tip us to Ben Barber returning to the NRL?
Well, it certainly looks like that Ben Barber will come back to the NRL. Shane Flanagan, very vocal last week, saying that they'd look at him at the Sharks. But what about the start from Swasa Su? Already 2 strong carries. Ernie side a penalty in that first set. Puts him right on the front foot.
Yeah, very good set following a try as Godinay sends it to the sky, and they test out this talented winger, Sione Katoa. And here's more pressure heaped upon the Newtown Jets.
And these are the plays, Joel, that the 2 referees come into it. There's more eyes out there, so as soon as you do something wrong on the footy field, these refs and touch judges are picking up on it. And that's the difference from game to game, week to week in this competition. And they certainly fasten up the game. So West Magpies are running hard, and they'll come up with some more shape this time.
Yeah, to explain that a little bit further, with Matt Head coaching the St George Illawarra side, one week he's got 1 referee, the next 2 is an error here for the West Magpies. Now, the reason that you see that is because the New South Wales Rugby League and the NRL, for that matter, they are testing out those closest to the NRL as far as referees are concerned. So they need to be playing with the 2 referees if they are to be elevated to the NRL. But Matthew Head, I can appreciate as a coach, it must be terribly frustrating not having the consistency, so to speak.
Yeah, well, it's more so from the players' point of view. That's who you talk to during the week, and their big thing is that a lot more gets noticed when they're 2 out there, and the game's so much quicker. So you've just got to work on the game and see what you've got each week.
So Ruben Rennie, he's got to be very, very close to the resident side, the New South Wales resident side, which they'll pick ahead of Origin 2. This is good defence from the Magpies. So Ruben Rennie right in the mix. I understand the dummy half Brayley right in the mix, and Sione Katoa here has copped a knock. He just, he did have that broken jaw, so I hope he's okay there.
I think it's young Sirinen. Just comes over the top, collects him with a bit of a left forearm across the jaw. Remembering he started, as you mentioned, Joe, he started in the NRL squad at the start of the year, 10 weeks out of the broken jaw. Tough start.
That's Williams crawling through. He's the grandson of Reg Gasnier, Jack Williams, and we had been calling 2 Jack Williams in this game, but of course the older Jack Williams has been elevated to the NRL team and doing a great job as well for Shane Flanagan. As speaking about Flanagan, young Flanagan here, Kyle, with Hodkinson going
to the Seagulls. He moves up in the pecking order. If an injury goes down to one of the starting halves for the Sharks, he must be next in as the kick goes out on the full. And all the field position is being on a platter for the West Magpies.
Yeah, this is so easy to do when you're not used to playing on some of these suburban grounds. Especially a couple of times I played at the SCG. You get your bearings all wrong. You can see there, Williams just out of position, a poor set end for the Newtown Jets, and West Magpies already be straight back on the attack.
So McKilrick got an early possession for Nagama. He's got some speed, Nagama. Evans does well. So the Magpies looking for back-to-back tries. Garner has had a very good season. He wasn't included in the full-time squad, but he's asking a fair old case of it as Godinay slides across. Gamble goes out the back. Here's Alita, and wrapped up by Williams. So they're 20 away as Suaso Su, an angling charge, runs into Ueli and Brayley and Vasquez. They eventually stop him, 12 away. This is the last. Short side they go away, back to Gamble again. This time he passes and they play on, and the Magpies through Price. They can't finish it off. Back to the 20, march the Jets.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty good option, isn't it? It's how we running the ball in the last tackle. As I said, if you put it dead, it's 20-metre tap, 7 tackles. Unfortunately, the pass has gone over the dead ball line, but running the ball in the 5th tackle, great option.
It's a nice set how they're building the West Magpies. They go an early shift to Kevin Naguama, and Evans has been up to the match thus far, but they're just going down that right-hand side as they get a penalty now. They feel like they can get at Williams with big bodies in Gamble and on that right edge there, McQueen. So they're going to be going at the young fella all afternoon.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, gentlemen. I don't think we're almost 10 minutes into the match. I don't think the Jets have been in the 30 of the Magpies, have they?
No, they haven't. West have dominated. They get their chance now. It's up to Flanagan and Brayley, as Matt had mentioned. They need to be mature here and come up with a set, build some pressure on the West Magpies.
And that's the sort of run they need from Ueli. He plays it 40 out. Brayley away, and Flanagan, show and go, but they nab him eventually. Quick play of the ball. Centre field they march through Vasquez. Williams goes from the left to the right. Kennedy, he's very dangerous. Kennedy, he's eventually stopped. 15 away. 6-0 Magpies. Brayley, Flanagan, he looked for runners. No one put their hand up. Vasquez eventually. Now Williams, here's a chance. Rennie coughs it up. It was nothing happening, and all of a sudden they had the overlap, the Newtown Jets, but execution lets them down.
Certainly does. Some nice little string of passing there going to the left-hand side. I just wanted to take you back a couple of plays, Hetty, and they come to this right-hand side, and Naguama and Martinez-Lesniak, they just rush up and in. So what's the instruction you'd be looking to get down to young Kyle Flanagan and Brayley when they come to this right-hand side?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the times with young halves, they just try and put the big play on too often. And sometimes you need to just hit that back row, running a nice line, so you can try and see that the defensive line has to stay back. But I thought it was a great line from Kennedy, the fullback. He's great on his feet, and he nearly found himself into some space.
Jets next week, the Intrust Super Premiership. We're off to North Sydney Oval for the Bears and the Dragons. So, Hetty, you'll be there, but in a different capacity. Jamie Sow and I will be in the commentary box with Paul Gallen as we see a desperate charge there from Halita. But you told me something trivial about the game next week, Matthew Head.
Yeah, it's great. Sean Timmins is my assistant coach there at the Dragons, and next week will be the first time he's gone back there since he missed the goal right in front for the Illawarra Steelers back in the 90s. So we're looking forward to that, actually.
You don't think we'll find a few replays of that ahead of next week?
If not, I'll have it at the captain's run so all the boys can see it.
Oh, dear. It's a bit like that rugby league. If you're not getting bagged, you're not liked as they go back, and here comes Nagama. This is where it can be dangerous, sharp off the foot. And he's trapped on the last 25 away. Magpies working the short side, got him. Alita puts the kick. Was it played at? Yes, but moot point because they dive on it, the Jets. And they'll start their set, 20 out.
Scrappy set in there for the West Magpies. Alita down this side, tried to put it on the inside of the boot. I'm a big fan of just building pressure. Put it up there as we see Newtown, an early spread to the left.
Yeah, Ruben Rennie gets the pass away to Charlton Schaffhausen, and Schaffhausen shoves him off. Here comes Charlton Schaffhausen. That is brilliant from the Jets. They've stolen a try there in the corner. Nice answer. Magpies 6, Jets 4 with a kick to come.
Well, it's a beautiful shift to the left-hand side for the Newtown Jets. I just want to highlight this pass from Williams. It's right out in front. And Rennie just puts Schaffhausen away. And he just gets rid of one and just puts on the afterburner. Straight down the touchline. Halita comes across there, right back in at the Jets. Beautiful shift, 6-4.
Yeah, well done. Well done to the Newtown Jets. Charlton Schaffhausen scores the try, and he gets his opportunity in the Intrust Super Premiership, and immediately shows Greg Madison why he made the decision to pick him. Well done. And renowned as a sharpshooter, this man here, Kyle Flanagan. Speak to those at Cronulla, and he's always on that field practicing these kicks, and had a bit of a setback in the off season with a thumb injury as Kyle, but he's growing into form. And they just chanced their arm down the short side, the Jets, and off they went. Ruben Rennie featured predominantly. Found Charlton Schaffhausen. He knew what he could do. And now Flanagan. Well, the noise was there, and it's paid dividends. No goal. Magpies 6, Jets 4.
Yeah, Giles, one of those tries that will more disappoint the West Magpies than excite the Newtown. It was just a nice long ball out in front, but West Magpies' defence was poor there. You've got to make sure that you don't lose your opposite. It was a great run from the Newtown winger. And just want to know, James Howe, where was the fullback for West Magpies? How come he wasn't in the picture?
Well, Halita had actually done the kick down the left-hand side and just failed to go across. So it was a nice little transition play from Newtown, highlighted by the pass from Williams out in front. Anytime you can give your centre early ball and it's out in front, you're always a chance of skinning him. That's what Newtown Jets did there.
He was a nice palm too, wasn't it, from Schaffhausen? You got to have those if you're a winger, and he certainly did, which will keep him nice and honest next time if we see the Jets through Ueli.
Saw Kyle Flanagan there with his goal kick. I always liked it a little bit louder. I always found it harder to kick when it was quiet because you're almost waiting for the yell to come. So you see now Newtown really on top this last 5 minutes. They get another penalty. They'll be back on the attack.
Yeah, I suppose with the big crowd, and you men have both been goal kickers, it's sort of a muffling sound. I remember the game in the snow down in Canberra, and with only 10 people there, naturally everyone sat on the halfway line. It's a nice crowd here at Lidcombe Oval, but one lunatic chose to sit on the 20-metre line. So I've got this kick from the sideline, which I'd already talked myself out of due to my foot was frozen off, and he was screaming at me, the one heckler. And that's 10 times more powerful than the crowd of 20,000.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the game we go. Jets looking for back-to-back tries. Williams goes back to Kennedy. Kennedy, he's got pace, Kennedy. He swerves in without the ball. So, Matthew Head, you asked where the fullback was last time. He was there knocking the possession from Kennedy on this occasion.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but you go back to the Newtown play, 7-6-1, and he runs a beautiful line, Kennedy. Probably the biggest tip there from the West Magpies is you're probably going to have to leave a defender, attacker. You're going to have to jam that. Kennedy's too quick for Tony Tarley. He gets on the outside of him, and then he looks like he's scoring under the post for all money. And Watson comes up with a beautiful one-on-one tackle.
It's beautiful execution from Newtown, but for any young aspiring football player at home watching, you have to hold the ball. We saw Michael Jennings Thursday night, cough up 2 tries with a loose carry, and that one right there, William Kennedy, you'd expect him to score that from there, Matthew Head, and a loose carry, they come up with the ball.
Gents, he wasn't even attempting the tackle. He knew he was beaten cold there, Halita, and he simply made a dive and a play at the ball. It was a masterstroke from the fullback, Watson Halita.
It's the only play he has, Joel. He's caught out, he knows he's been beaten by the step, so the only play he has is just to throw an arm out to make it look like he could have made the tackle, so that when he goes into video on Monday, it looks like he's going to have the tackle. But
So there's the error from the Magpies. But this is how they got possession. Watch, he just makes the play for the ball.
Great goal.
And look at the eyes. Release for Watson Halita. This was, well, they'd have that back again, wouldn't they, as the mistake comes from front row to front row. Sawaso Sue out the back to JJ Felice. 3 errors apiece.
And Brett Hodgson wouldn't be happy with how his side's completed sets since scoring that try. They've gone down, they've had a poor set end, now they've come up with 2 errors back to back. One was off a first play tap, poor pass from Siren, and their discipline is not good at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's the only thing, Jamie, that's brought Newtown back into the game is the poor discipline from the Magpies. They started the game running harder, tackling harder, getting through their sets. They score a beautiful set play try, and ever since then, dropping the ball, giving penalties away, and now we've got 2 players on report.
Bit of a dangerous tackle there. You can see Tony Tarley. Looks like he's been moved onto this left-hand side, so it's a nice adjustment from coach Brett Hodgson. He's putting Aguama out there who's a lot more speedy to try and match up with William Kennedy.
Yeah, well, Newtown just need to send the message out now, bring William Kennedy to the right-hand
exactly
side
right.
and pick up Tony Tarley over here. So let's see if Newtown adjusts to that.
So the Jets, Flanagan, Ueli, makes a beeline for Gamble, makes the tackle. So the Jets now inside the 20 through Brayley, Flanagan darts across. Williams this time, Nakora.
Keep going.
Well, it was a brave line from Nakora, but Garner coughs up a mistake for the Jets.
0 tackle.
Yeah, well, that's the real interesting one. When only before I was saying that the halves need to hit the back rower to get them into the game, but I think if you go out the back, Kennedy's on Tony Tarley again, and we've seen what's happened in for the first try and then the break. So I would have liked to have seen him go out to Kennedy then.
Kilrick. Gamble. So chancing their arm, Nagama. There's the switch you refer to. With him moving to the right, Kevin Nagama. McQueen. Gamble. Now Felice. Offload again, this time Sawaso Sue. Garner now. And Garner gets within 35. Quick play the ball. Godinay bounces upon it. Tarley runs to Brayley. This the last. Godinay puts the kick through. They're coming through, but Jack Williams has time.
He's been impressive, Jack Williams. Already late on a pass. Schiffhausen comes in looking for work. Strong carry. And another penalty to the Newtown Jets. But going back to that kick from Peter Godinay, what message do you get down to your players, Matthew Head? The discipline's bad. The last play options have been even worse. What are you looking for them for the next 5 minutes to try and wrestle momentum back?
Yeah, well, you're looking for your team to complete their sets and be a lot more disciplined in defence. But I think if that message had gone out, I wouldn't have liked JJ Felice's offload. That put him under pressure a little bit, but that kick just needed to be higher. You know, need to give his chasers an opportunity, and then you can try and win the momentum back. But at the moment, they're just right behind it.
So Jack Williams. Now to Flanagan. Ooh, that was questionable. They were right on hand. Dillon, a forward pass. And this, you get the sense midway through the first half, this set looks ominous.
Well, I suppose the hardest thing from sitting in the grandstand and watching is sometimes you can see the bigger picture, and West just need to get through their sets and play the next 10 minutes just like it's the start of the game. Get back into the rhythm of their performance, but at the moment they're still just trying to find the way how to get back into it, and they're playing a little bit too expansive for my liking if I was sitting in Brett Hodgson's seats. But Newtown, that was a poor forward pass there from the 9.
Tomorrow, it's a big game, isn't it? Sunday afternoon football. The Tigers taking on the Bulldogs. James Bracey, he'll be joined by Freddie, Joey, Gus, Luke Keary from the Roosters. He'll join them for the preview. And, of course, the great Rabs Warren. He'll be calling. That's all live and free on 9 and the 9 Now app. Their first try came from a penalty. The Magpies. And they'll be threatening to do the same here as we're just asking for too much. We don't seem to see the 2 being taken as much in the Intrust Super Premiership.
No, we don't. I think it's just off the back of maybe coach's directive to try and go down and play some footy. I mean, in the NRL, probably a little bit more important in terms of getting points on the board, but nice opportunity now for West to get the momentum back.
So McIlrick, Godinay, back to Garner. Garner pirouettes, eventually trapped. McIlrick darts off to the right. He finds Godinay. Godinay back to Halita. And here's another penalty. Do they take the two this time?
No, you keep the ball rolling here. It only takes them to 4 points in front. I just think they're a little bit too wide. Peter Godinay is trying to hit a leader there, but he's just too wide. And then when they come to the left-hand side through Garner, they're all just behind the pace. Tighten up a little bit and just push your numbers in and around the halves. Try and get young Kyle Flanagan to make a decision on this left-hand side.
Suaso Sue! Very close, a trap, a metre short. McIlrick fires it deep, Godinay to Garner. Garner got away from one. Luke Garner, an impressive try for the Magpies. You just got the sense the possession would take its toll against the Jets. And this man, Luke Garner, made it happen.
They certainly did. They set him up to play before. You can just see here, they all spread out, post him one-on-one with Kyle Flanagan, and Luke Garner crashes over. They extend their lead, 10-4, big kick to come.
Well, not a bad way to celebrate a milestone for Luke Garner, his 50th career game, and he gets a little buffer back for the Magpies and a chance to go out by 8 with the kick to come via Tyson Gamble. And he came through the 20s, Luke Garner, alongside Tom Trebojevic. So Jesse Raymond was also in that Manly side. They went down to Penrith that afternoon on the big stage, but he's done plenty for his team here. That's a perfect kick for Tyson Gamble. He's 5 from 5 for the year and takes the Magpies out by 8.
Yeah, well, a couple of minutes ago, Joel, you spoke about that the 2 doesn't get taken that much in the ISP competition, and that's probably the reason for it. Every ISP coach would be talking about their try line D's got to be better, and that's the difference probably I see in this competition to the NRL. Nearly every team in the competition will let a simple try like that in, and that's probably the reason most coaches say, let's take the tap. So, and that's the difference from Flanagan being a real good player here and then progressing to NRL. You've got to be making those tackles.
The old Victor jumper for the Magpies. They still sponsor the Magpies, can you believe it?
You can also pop down, Joel, and buy a lawnmower.
They got the mowers on sale, have they?
Yeah, I saw a bloke buy one earlier this morning when we were getting ready.
Okay, do you get the Magpie discount perhaps?
I don't think so. I think they'd be charging full freight. But another penalty here from Newtown. So both sides, after scoring points, struggling to really maintain momentum. And now West Magpies get the chance to go on the attack again. I'd be coming straight back to Kyle Flanagan. I'd just be Garner straight at him, let him know he's in for a long afternoon.
Yeah, of course, just repeating, they're playing for the Tom Raudonikis Cup. They last met here, the Newtown Jets and the Western Suburbs Magpies in first grade back in 1981. Jack Danzy was the referee. 8,500 people attended. West 23 defeated Newtown 7. Tommy Raudonikis, incidentally, this being the Tom Raudonikis Cup, he was injured for that game, Tommy. Gary Dowling scored a couple, Terry Lamb, John Rebo, Ian Schubert. Ross Conlon kicked 4 from 4 for the Magpies as Gamble takes them on. And the sole point scorer for the Jets that day was Kenny Wilson. They go the short side, Sirinen. Speaking about famous names, Sirinen to Nagama. And Nagama being a handful. Nagama dummy through, and you thought Suaso Sue was a chance. This is the last here. They shifted wide to Gamble. There's the grubber. Garner gets another. Garner gets another. 2 tries in 2 minutes. And it's that lethal boot again from Tyson Gamble.
Oh, it's beautiful play from Western Suburbs Magpies. All started from Chris McQueen. McGuama played the ball quickly, and Gamble, you can see him on 6s and 7s out here. Evans had rushed up, threads the needle in behind. Garner gets his second. It's a real exhibition of last play management from young Gamble, and Garner dominating on the left-hand side.
Well, this duo, he had suffered, and you mentioned it in the pre-game, for a couple of weeks. Garner was a little out of sorts after a block-busting start to the season. with the absence of the halfback who went to the Drinkwater. He went to the English Super League, but this time Gamble pops up on the left. He set the first try up on the right for Tony Tarley. And they're full steam ahead here now, the Magpies.
Well, the best thing for a half with his kicking game is making sure that there's no pressure on you, and you've just got to get behind the line. The fullback, Kennedy, on both their tries has probably been a little bit too far in field, but then the Newtown forwards, their markers or their A or B defenders aren't putting any kick pressure on Gamble. He's running the line, putting a nice little dink in, and that's great chase from the Maggies. And the last 5 minutes to 10 minutes, the Magpies have turned it around, and they've got all the momentum.
Gentlemen, on this bloke Gamble, as I say, I'm convinced what we've seen of him, he's a dead set first grader, but so many number 6s for the West Tigers. Can he play lock? He's a bit of a Scott Hill type. How do you see him making his way into that West Tigers 17?
Well, he'd probably want that goal kick back, but I think he comes onto the bench and provides utility. It's interesting because you can see how much touch he's got by his kicking game, which is important at any level. But also, he has to get his defence right consistently early on in that first half. He has been caught out going sideways a little bit. Now, if you're going to defend on an edge, as Matthew Head will tell you, your edge defenders need to be your best defenders because they've got to make decisions. So I'm sure he'll just have to be a little bit more consistent from that. But from what we've seen of him, he's definitely going to be a first grader.
16 points to 4. And into the contest now goes Joseph Ratuvaka Seravalu. McKilrick, Godinay takes off. And his opposing number, gee, that's a good charge for the halfback. There's the offload. Watson Halita. Well, 20 metres, or the best part therefore of, from Godinay. Ratuvaka Seravalu to Gamble, now McQueen. And Lightning McQueen, he's had a decorated career, hasn't he, Chris? And he had that awful neck issue in the off-season, but he's had the operation. He's bouncing back nicely. Sirinen guides towards that try line again. Gamble puts the kick through. Guess who's looking for it? Garner, not again, surely. Katoa. I thought for a moment there, as we see a penalty for the Magpies, that Garner was going to have 3 tries in 6 minutes.
Yeah, I don't agree with this penalty here from the referee. I thought they're a bit hard done by the Newtown Jets. But it all started from Peter Godinay just dictating terms. He had a 25-metre run, then got an offload to Halita. Greg Madison won't be happy with his side's defence, and they're right back on the attack now, the Magpies.
Yeah, and Jamie, it's something West do very well. I reckon they're the best in the comp, taking the short sides on. They do it every week, and they find some joy out of it, especially that set.
McKilrick, Gamble, this time takes them on. A little high, perhaps, from Ueli. Referee says that's okay. Gamble so close. And just shy now. McKilrick, Ratuvaka Seravalu denied a try. Lolo made that tackle. Short side they go away. Gamble over the top. It sits up almost for Schaffhausen. Which way is Adam Cassidy, the referee, ruling here? I think it's more possession coming up for the Magpies.
We'll have to wait and see. Gamble. I don't understand this with young players. They've had success on the left-hand side with Garner. They've gone down there. They've had 2 tries on kicks, but Cole Flanagan missed a one-on-one tackle. You need to go back down there until he proves he's going to make that tackle at least another 2 times one-on-one. There's no need for him to go down to the right-hand side. You need to keep posting plays at Cole Flanagan. As we see Newtown work it out off their own end. But, Hetty, it's so important, isn't it, just to keep doing what's working. Garner could just really give Flanagan a nightmare.
Yeah, well, and now they just back it up with an ill-disciplined penalty again. Yeah, you're right, Jamie. You've got to keep doing what's working and make it not work before you have to change it. So you're spot on. They need to get the Garner going at Flanagan, seeing if he can make him. If he can't, keep going to him. If he can, go out the back. If that don't work, then go the other side. You're exactly right.
And that's what happens as a half. You start to panic when you've got a big back rower on you. You miss one tackle and then you might stop it the next time, and then your centre starts to get edgy and they go out the back and you get skin on the edge and see another error. So both teams failing to find any momentum in what they're doing. And the Western Suburbs Magpies are going to get another set attacking Newtown Jets, and it's Cole Flanagan
The bright side for Kyle was his first play was a run, a show and go. Since then, we haven't seen it. We know his team's been on the back foot, but it really got him into the game. He's tried to pass a few times. I'd like to see him just take the line on, get himself in the game, especially after he missed a tackle.
Well, they've got to have to be careful in Newtown that they don't get too far behind. They've got to get through their sets, and Kevin Nakwama now with great feet.
So McQueen. Got some great depth, haven't they, the West Tigers, as have, for that matter, the Newtown Jets. Helita fills the void at dummy half. Raudonikis Seravalu goes back to Godinay, and Sirinan does well to capture that. And they hold him down, 22 away. Magpies on the attack, looking for their fourth try. Here's the kick, and Kennedy, they're hard to take. It sits up now. And Malachi Wateni-Zalesniak.
Well, Goodinay's seen his half partner put in 2 nice grubbers for tries, and he's thought, well, if you can do that, I'm going to have a go at it. Puts in a nice kick, early tackle, but Kennedy was... The positive with Kennedy was in the right spot this time. He's missed 2 of his assignments beforehand. At least he was in the right spot, and I like that he attacked the ball. Yes, it's a knock-on, but from a young fullback that hasn't had the greatest of starts, I still like seeing the fullback attack the ball.
So Wateni-Zalesniak to gamble. They get it across. Rapid fire passing for the West Magpies. 5 away. They've got to hold on here somehow, the Jets. Show some resilience. As Moratis onto the field, chops him down. 6 away here, Robson dummy half, works the short side. There's a charge, and they're dangerously close from Helita. Quick play the ball, Robson from dummy half. He's done this often, he's done it again. He's just come onto the field, Braden Robson, and nails down another 4-pointer for the Magpies.
Well, it must run in the family, Joel. His younger brother, Reece Robson, who made his debut for St George Illawarra not long ago, he scores tries exactly the same. And that is what hurts you from a Newtown point of view. He even went too high, and he still found a way to get the ball on the line. And that's what I said before about your defence, and unfortunately it's Kennedy there again. You've got to be better on your try line, and you've got to try and make the team work for their try. And Robson just finds a little opening there and scores a 4-pointer.
20 points to 4. So the home side, the West Magpies. As Robson scores the try, here he is from dummy half. He drives forward and plants the ball right on the stripe.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty good decision from the referees without having the bunker to have to go to. They made a call, they got it right, and we move on. The game keeps playing, but Newtown have to regroup behind that try line. They need to control the footy when they've got it, and they need to be stronger with their resilience on their try line.
I'll be honest, Matty Head, I think the referees have been brilliant this season with their calls without the need for the video ref or the bunker. 22 points to 4. The Magpies with a nice little buffer. Coach Brett Hodgson will reasonably be pleased with his first half. For Greg Madison, if you've got the coach's hat on, Matthew Head, what are your bullet points for half-time?
Well, it's all about holding the ball from Newtown. They've had plenty of penalties from West Magpies to get themselves out of their own end, but they just haven't been able to capitalise because their completion rate's too poor.
So, geez, Raudonikis Seravalu, he's making a nice fist of his opportunity onto the field, and long pass to Robson, goes to Godinay, and Godinay, early possession for Malachi Wateni-Zalesniak. Tony Tarley, he scored the first try of the afternoon. Gets in behind towards Flanagan. It's the only way you can do it, isn't it? Just getting involved to get back into first grade. As Wateni-Zalesniak again trapped just short of the halfway line. The Magpies through Sirinan, Gamble, early kick, they're coming through. Here comes Nagama, doesn't get the initial bounce. Kevin Nagama chasing, the ball sets up, for McQueen, who
knocks it on.
Knocks the ball on, And that was a try that was going to feature predominantly on the Intrust Super Premiership highlights reel. But Lightning McQueen just couldn't ground the ball.
It was a great play there from Gamble and Naquama. It was obviously just between those two that they knew it was coming off, and unfortunately for the Magpies, it just bounced away from Naquama into McQueen, and he couldn't hold on to it. But if you just look at the stats there, Joel, Newtown are completing at just under 50%, and they've had 35% of the possession. There's no wonder they're so far down on the scoreboard.
Well, he did this last week, Madison, where he shifted Kennedy away from fullback. He's done that again. So interesting to see that they've done this. The Jets. Beyond the 30, can they pinch some points here? Do they just take the medicine and take the deficit into half, or do they push for points? That's the question as Williams swarmed upon. This is brutal defence here from the Magpies. Lolo links up now with Malachi Huma. And I'll go out on a limb here and say this is the first and only time ever there's been Malachi versus Malachi. Malachi Wateni Zelezniak, Malachi Huma. So the Jets inside the 40. What do they do here? Up they go to the sky. They'll test out the fullback Halita. They're coming through here, and Halita juggles. It sits up for Flanagan. Flanagan gets the pass away, and Anthony Moratis scores the try for the Jets. A very, very crucial try.
Well, Joel, there'll be plenty of catching coaches out there that would love to be with the West Magpies at the moment. If you just have a look, it's just a simple bomb, up and under, and you just have a look at Watson, Halatau, how he tries to catch it. He tries to catch it like it's a cricket ball. He puts his two hands together and tries to catch it that way. That just needed to be elbows down, arms close together, and catch it on your chest. And the Magpies be going into half-time 22-4. Unfortunately, he comes up with a simple drop, but there's Flanagan. What a good halfback should do. Picks up the loose ball.
Anthony Moratis, his grandfather, very proud grandfather, Nick Moratis, who owned Might and Power, who won the Melbourne Cup. He would have been whipping home Anthony in the same manner.
That's a huge four-pointer in the context of the game, Joel.
Huge. And you think about it the other end, Matthew Head, that try-saving tackle from Charlton Schaffhausen knocks the ball out, 12-point swing, and the Jets have got a pulse.
Well, we've seen it twice today, haven't we? Watson Halatau had the forced error when Kennedy was going to score under the sticks. He raked the ball out, and the very next set, West went down there and scored. So it shows you in this competition, if you can stay in the fight, don't let the scoreboard get too far away from you. If you complete your sets, get the possession back a little bit more, and push for points, you can get them.
So big kick.
I was just going to say, it's one of those things, Charles, that Brett Hodgson, the West Magpies coach, will be a little disappointed. He's had a really good half of footy, and he has to come in with that negative in his mind. So it'll be interesting to see how he approaches the half-time today.
So Flanagan. About 5 in from the eastern touchline. He boots towards the southern end here at Lidcombe Oval and boots it perfectly. Game on. Western Suburbs Magpies 22, the Jets 10. And there is, I would assume, a very happy Ivan Cleary. And Jamie Soward's down on the field now. Let's go down to the field alongside Blake Rayleigh.
Thanks, Joel. Blake, disappointing first half, but you get a try before half-time. That was a big bonus.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a slow start, but something positive to finish the half, so hopefully take that into the next half.
And what's the message going in, coming out of half-time? What do you need to do better?
Just limit the errors, no more penalties, just stick to the game plan and just stay in the grind.
No worries, mate. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blake. Thank you, Jamie Soward. It's 22 points to 10. Stay with us. Looking forward to this when we return at half-time. John Singleton, Tom Raudonikis join us right here on Channel 9.
Newtown is coming. Hear the bluebags humming. Newtown.
Jacob is a well-respected development and construction company that is committed to excellence in everything that we do.
When Day Cup started in 1999, our first project was actually in Albert Street, Newtown. So when we came up with the name Day Cup and we're looking for a colour or something, and obviously being in Newtown, the blue and white, the Day Cup blue and white came from the Newtown Jets blue and white. We had an office at Petersham, so we did a fair bit of work around Newtown, Marrickville, St Peters, but the Day Cup connection was truly because of the amount of work we did in the Marrickville municipality at that time. And that's our colours, Newtown Jet colours.
Over the past 20 years, we have earned a reputation for delivering outstanding projects in great locations all across Sydney. With our ongoing sponsorship of the Newtown Jets, Day Cup continues to be a strong part of our community. This year, Day Cup has started work on another great project in Petersham. The siding is an exciting new development that will provide a vibrant new home for the Petersham RSL Club and its members, as well as 357 new stylish residential apartments. This great project is just another great example of Day Cup's commitment to strengthening communities and delivering beautiful homes in great locations.
Let's keep the Jets flying!
Day Cup is a proud sponsor of the Newtown Rugby League Football Club, and they're on board to help keep the Jets flying in 2020. Support those who support the Jets.
These legends of the game. Tom Raudonikis, it's your cup today. You've got your stablemate here, the legendary John Singleton. What a day.
Mate, it is a day, and I didn't expect this, and I think the rugby league should have a good look at this, and this is what rugby league's about. Mate, I think it's absolutely fantastic. You know, there's a big crowd here, and mate, it brings tears to the eyes. And to see me old mate here, how good's he looking?
Oh, he's looking great. Well, firstly, with your health, you're having a win, aren't you, telling me?
Yes, I am.
Good man, good man. Singo, look, a couple of weeks ago we called a game at Henson Park, and I said to Tommy, what's something I could say about Henson Park and back in the day? He said, do me a favour, just mention me great mate John Singleton. It's a wonderful mateship you have, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, mate. We've been very lucky to bump into one another, and you know, on and off the field, we had just a wonderful friendship. And that whole era, we're still all together.
That's right,
West End Newtown blokes.
Yeah. And they're all, and then the good thing is we've got blokes like Cole Murphy. He is Mr. Newtown. He's sitting on the hill with all the Western Suburbs boys, you know. So I think it's a credit to them all, isn't it, Singer?
It is, mate.
It's fantastic.
Got his name on the...
Yeah, Cole Murphy, and wow.
We put it on. His mum started on.
That's right, yeah.
Tell me this, Singo, how did it all start? You pinched him from the Magpies, didn't you, back in the day? How did that happen?
Yeah, well, we knew how to play football through Ryan, but we weren't winning, and I thought, well, Tom Raudonikis is the difference. We get him, we start winning, and I rang Frank and Warren, and they said, well, you sign him, we won't be here. So I signed him, slipped him an envelope. He didn't know how much if he signed there. That's true. And I went back to Newtown, and they decided not to quit. And the walk and used Tommy, got the best out of him the last few years, and played for Australia again, and we got to a grand final. Didn't win it, but...
Just on that grand final, and Warren Ryan, by the way, he coached both clubs, the Magpies and the Jets.
Yeah.
So did Frank Burge, by the way. These old days, this was at this ground, Lidcombe Oval, the old face-slapping days.
Oh, fantastic days, and this is what rugby league's all about. What happened there the other Friday night when Storm played? Beautiful. How good wasn't that good?
Oh, what about the headbutt tackle?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think you can coach it, though, because it can coach.
Those things happen.
Natural instinct.
Singo, back to the 1981 grand final. Listen during the week. You actually commentated that on radio with Terry Page, with Arthur Beetson. There's this beautiful pass from Phil Gould, and it goes out to who scored the try in the end? They scored the try, and then you're jumping up like a lunatic. Artie couldn't even see it.
Well, doesn't matter. You didn't have to see it.
Hetherington scored the try.
That's right.
Brian Hetherington scored the try.
Well, that was early on, mate, and Brian Hetherington just used his sheer power to forge. I can still see it now. we were watching in the Paddington end. He forced his way over in the corner, and I thought, hey, we're going to win here. We're going to be rich. But
wasn't to be.
Singo, you're a legend. Tommy, enjoy the Tom Raudonikis Cup. Stay with us after this. Who's going to win it? That's the question. The Jets or the Magpies? Have a go at these champions. Back to the Category 1 ticket for you men.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Welcome back to Lidcombe Oval. Wasn't it great to catch up with those legendary men? Tommy Raudonikis, John Singleton. Just not enough time, half-time, is it? We could do the whole broadcast sitting with those men. Magpie muscle, that's the state of play at the moment. 22 points to 10. I love coming to these traditional suburban grounds where Lidcombe Oval was the home of the Magpies for 20 years. Up until 1986, 1978. That was the record crowd here. They were undefeated that year. The Magpies here, 21,015. Imagine 21,015 jammed into here at Lidcombe Oval, the minor premiers. It's the premiership that got away, they say, the Magpies. They missed the grand final, bundled out in straight sets as the West Magpies of 2018. Are they on their way to a grand final, perhaps? Long way to go, of course. Radavaku Seravalu has certainly made his fingerprints vet on this game as they go left-hand side. Sirinen, who's popping up on the left. He's popping up on the right. Debuted last year against the Cowboys. Godinay. So that's the way you start a set into the second half. A tricky one for Sione Katoa. Does well. Good chase from Garner. He scored a couple already as Luke Garner. So the Jets, they got that try right on half-time, which just may prove to be the difference at the end. It was a big period of the match as Lolo trundles beyond the 40. Looks for the offload, but the ball is held in there by McQueen. Magoulias. He's the #1 man for offloads in the Intrust Super Premiership. They wrap up that right arm, though, on this occasion. And they'll go the short side. So both teams completing. A little chipping kick from Flanagan, but they're easily taken by Malachi Watene-Zalesniak.
It was an interesting type of kick there from Flanagan. The last kick right before half-time, it was a nice up and under, straight to the fullback, and he spilt the beans and they scored a try, and this time he just comes and does a little chip kick to the winger. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of an attacking kick there.
It's just a sign of his inexperience. He's really still learning on his kicking game. We've watched him a couple of times this year as the Magpies shift it left, but they're just all too far behind the ball.
Yeah, cut out ball away as Tarley. He's a handful. He scored the opening try on the right edge, but they've switched him to the left.
Yeah, the Newtown Jets were disappointed they didn't get back at him. He was defensively found out. William Kennedy, so much speed. And you mentioned Joel, William Kennedy moved to the wing in that first half. They were just checking on an injury. He seems all right. He's gone back to fullback to start this second half.
So Gamble, there's the towering bomb. They're coming through. This will test out Kennedy. And takes it well. He's been knocked about, William Kennedy, that's for sure, as he stays down. And this talented debutant, Schaffhausen, beyond the 20. Moratus scored that try right on half-time. Trapped by Robson. This has been a good defensive set from the Magpies. Magoulias looks for that offload, but not taken for by the Magpies. What a set here defensively, still in the 30. And now Malachi Huma gets him to the 40. This kick will come inside the 40. And Flanagan keeps it up the middle of the park, though. They had the wings covered through Alita and also Price. And Price, after the second bounce, pounces on it. The Jets pounce on him.
It's a nice kick there from Flanagan. Matt Head said he sort of just leant into that first one, a little chip down the short side. But that one there, he finds ground. It's so important when you're kicking long just to find ground, as he saw a bounce. And Watene-Zalesniak comes back in. They're right back on the attack. They haven't come out of the sheds, the Newtown Jets, this second half.
McQueen. So Gamble now away, flat pass away from Sirinen and Ratuvaka Seravalu, who stopped about 25 metres out from the try line. Robson goes short side. Godinay puts a banana kick. They're coming through. Gamble's leading the charge. They leap up high. Halita leapt for it, goes back. Knock on, says referee Cassidy.
Well, this is the difference when the NRL experience comes to the fore. West Magpies have plenty of it in their team, and they've come out in the second half and have upped the ante. Unfortunately, from the Newtown Jets' point of view, they haven't been able to withhold it so far, and West Magpies just look like if they can keep the momentum going, points are going to come. So Newtown have to roll the sleeves up and get back into the game.
Seem to again get caught out of position there, Kennedy. As a kicker, you're trying to move your fullback around, but he's just getting caught as fast. Schuchman straight down the middle. Here's Flanagan.
There's Schaffhausen. He got the pass to Flanagan. Oh, Halita. Brutal defence from fullback. Nails the halfback, but he's out of play here, Halita. They'll shift it, Williams. Williams-Moradas. Here's Rennie. They've got a chance here. Rennie gets the opening. Oh, the pass. The pass to Schaffhausen goes into touch. And I thought for a moment, this man here, Charlton Schaffhausen, was going to be rewarded from the powerful burst he had at the other end of the field.
Well, once he goes through here, Rennie just needed to pass there. He'd already got Price looking in. And Schaffhausen would have had enough speed to get there and pick up his second. It was poor defence from Kevin Nguama, just racing up, trying to solve the problem by himself. But back to my point about Kennedy, he just seems to be getting caught out of position. You want to be half a pass inside the halfback, just tracking the kick, but right there, he just doesn't move laterally back. He's been caught out twice. Matt Head pointed out in the first half, not being in position for a grubber. So Greg Madison have to get that message out, stay on your toes, just try and anticipate where the ball's going to go so you can be in the frame when that ball bounces.
So almost gave themselves up there as Ratuvaka Seravalu scurries around, 32 away from their own goal line. Robson now, and Colin Epray into the contest. Plays it quickly. His father Sandy played first grade at Penrith. Did Colin Epray on the halfway line. Short side, Godinay. And this time Tarley squeezed into the corner, so there was no room for Malachi Wateni. Zalesniak, Godinay again, testing out Kennedy. Here they come, the chasers. Gamble again. He had the post to contend with. Classy work from Kennedy. Gets away from Gamble. Gets away from another one, Kennedy. Here comes William Kennedy. Oh, no.
He's had it one-on-one stripped.
And eventually wrapped up and stripped by Robson. He's a footballer, isn't he, Robson? So they go on the attack here, West. Tarley, they shifted from under the post to the flanks of the field immediately. Here's a penalty. Do you think going up by 14 here, Matt Head?
Yeah, well, I think this is probably where you do have a good look at it. And it's obviously up to the goal kicker if he thinks he can back it. I think the coach would like you to take the two, but if the kicker doesn't think he can nail it.
Yeah, you can see there, Kennedy did so well to catch the ball and get out of the in goal, and looks like the Magpies are going to take the tap here, but again, another loose carry, the second time this afternoon.
So Epray, settling play. What have they got up their sleeve here, the Magpies? Gamble, skipping towards the 10 and beyond, goes brutal defence from the Jets on McQueen. Billy Magoulias made that tackle. Shifting it right to left, it goes Godinay. Halita now. Tarley. Tony Tarley wrestled to the turf, still 10 away. 10 metres in from the eastern touchline here at Lidcombe Oval. Flinging the pass goes Godinay. Back they go, Ratuvaka Seravalu. 5 metres out here, the Magpies. Gamble's parked on the right, that's where they go. He's got the ball now, Gamble, there's the grubber kick, it hurt him first. Back to the 20 they go, the Jets.
So he's overcooked that one, Gamble. So successful in the first half. Just way too much on it there, and it's all sideways at the moment, isn't it, Matt Head? They're going left to right. Godinay's not really straightening the attack. The message has to go down. They need to tighten up a little bit, get those defenders to come in and make some decisions.
Yeah, well, everything, as you said, it's too deep at the moment, but probably the big thing, Jamie, is the whole start and middle from the West Magpies are sitting on the bench, and they're the players that will get you forward and go a lot straighter. So it will be interesting to see how long Coach Hodgson keeps them on the sideline. As I mentioned, they start get off their seat and they're about to come back onto the field.
This is a dangerous sign here. Whenever Katoa comes in looking for the ball, he usually comes up with a try.
Well, we called a game a few weeks ago. There's the brain trust of the Tigers. Hodgson, Cleary. We'll be watching on as pensively in State of Origin 1, Ivan, perhaps.
I don't have Nathan Cleary in my State of Origin 1 side. I've got him in game 2.
Game 2 and 3 and 1 probably for the next 10 years. Mistake. Now, this is the worrying thing for the Jets as we see Alita take off field, is the fact that the last 2 weeks, the Magpies have played contenders in the Warriors and the Panthers. They held the Warriors scoreless. Penrith only scored 10 points, and they've got to find 12 in half an hour, the Newtown Jets. So Tony Tarley from dummy half. Offload goes deep back to Garner. And Garner surveyed his options. In the end, run straight to Malachi Huma. Lolo makes the tackle. They're 42 away. Godinay scrolls the pass, and this time Patriciolo will quick play the ball. So taking off from dummy half goes Malachi Wateni Zalesnio. Gets away from Lolo. Continues on Malachi. So this is a very dangerous period. Short side, they go Robson. Nagama hurdled back in, gets the pass to Price. And they're clinging on, but just. Last play, they must survive here, the Jets. Gamble to the line, puts the kick through, but sits up in the hands of Huma. And what a big play that is for the Jets.
It's a great play for the Newtown Jets. They were on the ropes there. They need their outside backs to come in. That's what Schaffhausen does. I'd like to be followed up with Katoa here, Kennedy, and maybe try and roll it out. Both teams look a little bit gassed. 10 minutes, not many stoppages in this second half.
Yeah, they had to make a big play too, Joel, with Rennie coming off the field and Addison Dimitro's gone onto the centre. So he's usually playing back row or in the middle. So they might have a little contest there. Kevin Nagwama v Dimitro.
Yeah, he came on in the Frank Hyde Shield and he made an immediate impact, almost guiding the Jets to victory versus the Bears. Magulius. I mentioned he's so prolific in that offloading department. He's yet to do it, so there's a player back in play. I think it's Price. They put the kick through here. So currently playing with 12 at the moment with a man in back play. Malachi Wateni Zalesniak does well. He zigs, he zags. Moratis makes a great play. Terrific play as Kennedy takes off field. Gets the pass away, Katoa. Sione Katoa circles back infield. They seem to have him corralled, but he works around that Katoa. Beats another one. Sione Katoa. They can't stop him. Pirouettes, one-man band. Back short side, Kennedy. Kennedy. He's taken down. Can they break the gap here now? Long pass away, Flanagan. Lolo. Lolo steams upfield. 1 metre out here, the Jets. Brayley waits patiently at dummy half. Sends it back away to Williams. Williams, flat pass, but the ball comes loose. The ball comes loose and the Magpies back beyond the 10-metre line.
There was a wide pass here and Jack Williams, well, had his shoulders just facing east-west, which doesn't allow his back rower any time to catch the ball. The pass is too hard. They relieve the pressure. A real chance gone missing for the Jets.
Well, they just don't have much patience in their good ball attack at the moment, do they, Newtown? They're trying to score every time they get down there. They're only down by two converted tries, so a little bit more patience and try and probably win the game at the end of the 80 minutes, not right now.
Hetty, you spoke about Demetriou on this left-hand side as we see Godinay experience. He's going to kick that out. That's a great kick to find space. What's the message to try and get Demetriou posted so that Nagwama can take advantage of that?
Yeah, well, again, they just need to get their back rows running inside the half, inside shoulder, and then see what Addison Dimitro wants to do. He's going to want to jam, so you might be able to throw that cutout pass across his face. So it'll be interesting to see what Maggie's come up with.
Gee, that was a good kick, as you mentioned, Jamie Soudles. Heading for touches, Spears back in, but that chase led by Kevin Nagama has got him pinned back right inside the 20 here.
Oh, any kick that you do is only as good as its chase, and you can see right there Nagwama pins him right down there, and you can hear the crowd start to get vocal.
Ruben Rennie, this is a problem for Greg Madison. He's having his ankle tended to. As I say, he's on the cusp of a possible resident side for New South Wales. Ruben Rennie's well and truly in the frame as Price gets it on the chest. This arm wrestle, they've just got to survive this storm at the moment, which is all Magpies. 26 minutes remaining. It probably goes without saying that playing such a solid defensive unit as the Magpies, they've got to find a way to be next on the board. The Jets as Ciolo, the versatile Patrice Ciolo. He can play back row, he can play wherever you like. In fact, dummy half as they play in the centres if you wish. Suaso Su, he's just happy to wear the number 10 jumper for now. Jesse, 32 away. Wow. No need for an alibi there, Peter Godinay.
And that's the first stoppage we've had, boys. It's about 14 minutes. What we call a nice little cycle there. And Matt Head mentioned about the starting front row coming back on for the Magpies. Suaso Su's come back on. McIlrick will be back on very shortly, you'd have to think.
So tomorrow, Sports Sunday, that kicks off at 10 a.m. You've got Brownlow medalist Shane Crawford. You've got the Seagulls legend Jeff Tuvey. And they'll join Peter Fitzsimons, James Bracey and Liz Ellis to debate all the biggest issues in Aussie sport. That's from 10 a.m. and then 11 o'clock, it's a Sunday footy show. All the breaking NRL news. You've got expert analysis with the host Peter Sterling, Brad Fittler, the Origin coach, Wally Lewis, the Origin legend, and the former Jillaroo, Alana Ferguson. 22 points to 10 here, the Magpies.
It's probably not the stoppage of the play that the Magpies were looking for.
Yeah.
You look at that, both teams are out on their feet at the moment, but the Magpies look better at playing this style of footy. Newtown, as soon as they get a little bit of a roll on, with their 1, 6, 7, 9, they love to play some footy. So the more time they can get some stoppages, get themselves into some field position, they're a dangerous team. Once they score one try, Newtown, they usually back it up with a 2 or a 3rd. So the Maggies better be careful.
So forecasting ahead, if there is a dramatic comeback from the Jets, men who guides them home. Is it Brayley? Is it Katoa?
Yeah, Brayley's doing a lot of defensive work, so he's gassed. He's up to about 33 tackles. So for me, I'd like Kyle Flanagan to get involved more. I want him to be linking up with Sione Katoa. Jack Williams holding on this left-hand side, and Flanagan gets the ball now.
So Flanagan to Evans. He's pinned down in good defence. Tony Tarley's changed his jumper. 24 now is Katoa. Katoa. It's a fine line, isn't he? Starts the season in the NRL and then gets injured. The door is presented for Edric Lee and he maintains that position. Good run, Moratis. He's had a very good game this afternoon, Anthony Moratis. Inside the 30, Brayley. And Williams puts the kick through. They're coming through Halita. Halita leaps. But the Jets see the door ajar.
Well, it's a nice little kick from Williams, but the chase is even better. We saw Peter Godinay put one in the corner and the Magpies chase it down, and right there, the usual suspects, Williams, Flanagan. And the back rower. Coming up the front rower there, Dylan. So nice chance here. Katoa has to get involved.
Well, as poorly as probably Will Kennedy's been today, he needs to get involved. He's moved himself out in the centres. I know you made mention that he got injured in the first half, but if Newtown are any chance, he's the speed that they need out the back of these plays to come up with some points.
So there goes Evans. And Evans taken down by Godinay and also Patrice Ciolo. 5 metres away here. Wonder how the nerves are in the Category 1 stand where Tom Raudonikis got the West Magpies jumper on. Singo cheering on the Jets. Either way, I'm sure they'll celebrate together, regardless of the outcome. Here come the Jets now, juggling ball. Demetrio coughs it up for Newtown.
Twice now they've come down this left-hand side, and unfortunately, young Jack Williams struggled to come up with the play. You can see here he's not engaging anyone. Nice cover defence from the Western Suburbs Magpies, and they turn it over again.
Yeah, well, the hardest thing there, Jamie, is the fact that Addison Demetrio would be in their team as a a player come off the bench to play back row or middle. Now they've had an injury and they've moved him out to centre, and that sort of looks a little bit like a made-up play to try and get him involved, and it's something they haven't worked on during the week, and he comes up with a spilt ball.
I always found if I had a centre go down and I had to be replaced with like a Bo Scott or a back rower out there, and Isaiah Yeo towards the back end of my career, I gave them a nice early ball so that they felt good. So it might be a nice little double lead inside, outside the half, or just an early ball where they can just get a touch right there. As you mentioned, Hetty, he's trying to get Demetriou on a line that he's not used to running, and they spill the ball again. Their completion rate's just under 50%.
Well, they were besieged, weren't they, the Wyong Roos? They're the feeder club for the Roosters. They were minor premiers last year in the Intrust Super Premiership. Back-to-back wins, so they're picking themselves up off the canvas. 24 points to 20. The Roos, who were second last, have defeated the Bulldogs, who came into this in third position. So that is a mighty scalp for Rip Taylor and the Wyong Roos. 22-10 here, rather, as they go to the short side. Godinay, they're in control here. The Magpies, the kick is deep. Katoa into the sun, takes it nicely. Gamble makes the tackle with Suaso Su.
And look, with both sides in a nice rhythm here, not many points being scored. I wonder whether Peter Godinay comes down next time and just plots over a field goal just to extend them out to 13 points. Tightens up the attack even more from Newtown Jets and maybe even relaxes the Western Suburbs Magpies.
So Evans getting a bit more involved, and he's jumped upon 12 metres short of the halfway line. Brayley urging for a quicker play the ball. He's been dynamite, hasn't he? Charlton, Schaffhausen, and he edges towards that halfway stripe. Brayley, Flanagan, cut out ball on the chest of Katoa, puts the grubber kick through. Here they come chasing, and well, Tony Tarley does well there. A foil there for the fullback in Halita.
No voluntary tackle?
Well, question marks there for sure. Geez, look at this. Most tackles, and it's all about the Jets. That just shows possession, doesn't it?
Certainly does. The workload's been shared by everyone in the Magpies pack. We see Demetriou trying to get something started for his side. Nice, strong defence.
So Gamble, we mentioned he's that Scott Hill type, so he not only passes and kicks, he's prepared to roll the sleeves up, as does JJ Felice. What are my colleagues here, the former halves, thinking? Do they want to go up by 13 at this stage of the match? Matt Head, Jamie Soward, there's the kick.
Yeah, I mentioned it last set. I think next time they come down, 20 minutes to go for me, Joel. I'm a big fan of any time's the right time. I think you go down there, you stretch it out. Both teams in a real slog down the middle, aren't they, Hetty? And you can see there, that's really only the second stoppage we've had in 21 minutes of footy.
Yeah, well, the thing with Newtown, they've got to come up with something different, because what they've been doing for the first 60 minutes hasn't worked for them. So maybe they get to that 40-metre line early in their tackle and they aim for 40-20. Something like that, or put a nice torpedo bomb up. Doing something different that they've done for the past 60 minutes, because they need to get some good ball, they need to get some opportunities, and then they need to be patient with the ball. But as I said 10 minutes ago, this game at the moment is just all for the Magpies. They love this style of footy, and Newtown need to open it up a little bit.
Well, there's a big game coming up, live and free on Channel 9 and the 9 Now app right after this 3 p.m. It's the Queensland Firebirds taking on the West Coast Fever, the undefeated, table-topping West Coast Fever. Firebirds in fourth position. Here's a chance. Evans gets the pass away. Katoa, he's in support. Evans, he steps Katoa. But the tackle made. How did Jesse Sue get there for the tackle? The front row makes an important one. Brayley, now to Flanagan. Pass comes away. Stepping goes Magurlius. Back to Williams. The Jets score the try. Jack Williams, the pass from Magurlius. And it's game back on here.
You're exactly right, Joel Kane. Game back on. They shifted to the right-hand side, and then it's just beautiful patience here from the left. Flanagan comes up. Magurlius finds Williams, who gets over next to the post. He'll kick this Flanagan, 6 points break.
Okay, there's the try. Jack Williams. Billy Magurlius, he's kept that offload under his belt. An important try assist. And what about this kick from Flanagan? And this looks easy on screen, but these are the awful kicks to take, aren't they?
Well, especially with how far he's brought it back. He's over the 20-metre mark. He's made it a little bit harder for himself, but he's a renowned goal kicker. He likes doing it. These are the kicks that are put a little bit more pressure on you because you're meant to make them. But they're the ones you want to have, and they're the type of kicks that, from a halfback's point of view, that can get you into the game. So you can kick this, be down by 6, get back and get your team rolling and ready to go. But they play an expansive type of footy, and when they do it well, they're very good to watch, the Newtown Jets.
So Flanagan, they've been having a victory, haven't they, the hecklers?
Yep.
So far, he's got to block it out here, Kyle Flanagan, and this is a most important kick for the Newtown Jets. He moves in, head down, follow through, 6-point ball game. Magpies have the lead, Jets are coming.
Yeah, well, they just go from sideline to sideline, and it's all about trying to go through them and then having close support, and that's what Newtown are good at. When their halves get in close support to their forwards, they get some offloads and they go off the back of it. So it was a good try there from the Newtown Jets, but they're certainly in this game. I wouldn't be surprised, Joel, from watching them in the past, that they don't try a little shift in this type of set. It's something that they do throw out there a little bit.
Yeah, they've, this isn't the sort of equipment you'd see back at Lidcombe Oval back in the day. Here he goes, Shelton Schaffhausen. He's a bit of a crowd favourite already. He's had a big game. He's had a big game. And there's some good haircuts there too. Nagama and Schaffhausen meet together. Demetrio. Just repeating for those new to the Intrust Super Premiership coverage, no golden point. No golden point, so they've got to try and win it in the allotted 80 minutes. Brayley away to Magoulias, and Magoulias, Nakora, who's been reasonably quiet this afternoon. That's his 6th carry of the afternoon. Evans dummy half. And Ueli. Brayley, Flanagan drives it. Smart play from the halfback. He's thinking long term. They don't have to win it this set. Field position for now, he says, young Kyle. Tarley.
That's really a smart kick from Flanagan, because it would be easy just to try and bend it back and try and get the points all back in 2 sets. But nice play there, patience. Price trying to get it. West Suburbs finding a bit of a rut here. They all look really tired.
Yeah, look, they're walking there. A bunch lot too was, gee, that's an important carry, isn't it, for a team who were running in cement gumboots. Robson made that carry. McQueen is afforded the chance to get in the 40 and over now. Nagama jumps into dummy half, and it's a tired old set. They resort to the torpedo bomb, and Kennedy lets it bounce, and it goes straight back to him. Skips upfield.
Well, it's interesting too with the game on the line and the Magpies up by 6 that you look on the bench, and McCrory, the hooker, experienced, played a lot of NRL for the West Tigers. Ivan Cleary's here also watching the game. You think that you'd want him back out in the park so he can control the team around and get them this close victory.
Yeah, and not only is this game on the line, possibly the top 8. There he is, studying hard, and there's been a few with first grade experience, and no doubt these men will be required at some stage of the year. So Vasquez back into the contest. Grassing tackle made by Ciolo. The Jets on the last, they're 30 away. Flanagan goes for that same tactic, plugs it down in the corner to Malachi Wateni-Zalesniak, and that's a terrific charge back to the 20.
I like the last kick down the short side, but I didn't like that one. I think that one had to go up in the air. You can't just keep doing the same thing. Gamble's had a wow of a game, but that one there needs to go in the air.
And a wow of a game. Oh, that's a big call. A mistake was presented. He pleaded for the penalty.
Well, he comes out the other side, and he's got all right to get up there, and they just hold on a little bit long, Maradas. It's one of those 50-50 ones, Hetty.
Well, it was.
But the footy gods have shone again, Joel.
That was a knock-on, yeah.
I was about to say the footy gods have shone again and somehow evened it out. But perfect opportunity here, 12 minutes to go. Peter Godney to get in position, give his team a 7-point lead.
Yeah, well, the Jets
footy god shone for a moment, and then the Magpies footy god just answered immediately. So, gee, this is a big set, isn't it? 12 minutes remaining in this one.
Well, the other thing was interesting. When you watch the NRL and you have the two referees, you know there's a head referee and a pocket referee. At that stage, the pocket ref said that was a knock on. Right. And the ref who was holding the 10 said, no, it's a penalty. So it's interesting to know in this competition how that does work. Who is the head? Because we don't get given any of those kind of things. So someone overruled someone out there, and it worked for the West Magpies.
And just as you mentioned, Hetty, McKilrick comes on to control this last 10 minutes for the Magpies.
So they work towards the post now. Gamble goes flat McQueen. And no fewer than 4 are asked to make the tackle. The crowd getting a little vocal here at Lidcombe Oval. The return to Lidcombe. Gamble goes wide. Sue shuffles it to Godinay. Godinay to Garner. He's got 2. And they make the tackle. 8 metres out. Magpies by 6. Short side Godinay. McKilrick set play. Back to Helita. Pops a pass up Ciolo. Now Sawase Sue. Jesse Sue.
Knock on.
We'll break now at 22 points to 16. Well, there he goes again. He's metres carried. Charlton Schaffhausen's good. Demetrio's a powerhouse as well. Runs over one, tears through another, skips past the fullback, carries Price a long way. What a charge, Addison Demetrio. An inspiring charge from the benchy.
10 in the bin.
Go for 10.
He's done it.
Number 5. Wow. They have to come to this left-hand side, the Newtown Jets, because Kevin Nguama will go to the wing. But it's a great run from Demetriou. You mentioned Eddie, he's a match winner for the Newtown Jets, playing out of position. This gives his team a chance to tie this game up.
Well, this is the interesting one. I hear, Joel, you talk about this every Saturday, about teams taking the 2. There's under 10 minutes to go, so he's off for the rest of the game. Should they have taken the 2 there, so when they score, they win it? Because we don't have extra time in this competition.
It's good thinking.
I know you always throw it at us, coaches or players. Here's you on the spot. What would you have done?
What I will do is go back to the calling and leave the analysis up to you men. So the Newtown Jets trailing by 6, and there goes, well, he's chopped down, isn't he? In good defence, Kurt Dillon. Had a taste of first grade a few weeks ago. 13 plays 12. They've got the energy now, Newtown. Pass comes away, and look at this barrelling, steaming charge from Ueli. 2 metres short of the try line. Evans fires it deep. Another settling play you fancy. And eventually backing into him, Dillon. He's charging, he's getting dangerously close. The alarm bells are ringing here for the Magpies defence. There's big questions about to be asked. So Williams, he's got the ball, takes them on. Jack Williams! Oh! Jack Williams has cut through them. And Jack Williams scores the try for the Jets, and Flanagan, a kick to level things up.
Oh, outstanding work from Williams. I've been critical of his play in the second half, but he gets the ball here, looks inside to Kennedy. McKilrick just goes back on his heels, and Kyle Flanagan's going to have a kick to tie it at 22 all.
Well, we're talking about it, Matty Head. Do you take the 2? I'll answer it now. Go for the try.
Yeah, well, I was always take the tap.
Yeah. Wow, this is a big kick, isn't it? 22 points to 20. And they were on the ropes. And then entered the Bulldozers. Schaffhausen charged up. He saw he planted the seed with the damage. Demetrio was just a one-man wrecking machine. He caused the sin bin. And they make them pay. They make them pay. And with 6.5 minutes remaining, a chance to level things up. Flanagan. I wonder how the nerves are going in the platinum seats here at Lidcombe Oval. Singo and Tommy, he kicks it. 22 all, the Magpies and the Jets. There they are, the platinum seats, Matthew Head. The great man, Tommy Raudonikis. And it was just Williams.
Yeah, it was just a beautiful play. He gets that over the stride, but the half with the ball. You can't take a dummy. You got to make sure that you make that tackle first. But Joel, I go back to the player put in the sin bin. I thought West had plenty of people back behind the ball. I'm not sure if it was just a dead set put in the bin. I know Newtown had made a break. I know West had slowed them down, but it's just such a big play. 10 minutes in the bin. I'm a huge advocate for the 5 minutes in the bin. The game, West can still be in it if he comes back on. So Newtown, it's all for them to win it now.
Vasquez. Upfield they go, 22 all. The Magpies 22, the Jets 22. Nakora. Gee, this is a good set, isn't it, from the Newtown Jets. They fire it across. Williams. 40 metres out here for the Jets. 4 minutes 45 to go. Williams, he scored two. The bomb is shallow. Halita forced to come in. That's a terrific take.
Yeah, he gave his chasers a chance to get there, Joel, but he just needed to get more length on that. You don't want to let West have any field position, and that poor bomb gives them a little chance to get up the field and put in an attacking kick themselves.
So they go to the right edge. McKilrick. And there's the sort of charge, the experience for Lease. That's what they needed, the Magpies. Inside the 40, McKilrick gets them on the back foot now. It goes away, Godinay. Godinay to Garner, who's been most impressive for the Magpies. This is the last. Do they take the field goal if they miss? It's a 20-metre restart. Here comes Gamble, he steadies. And that's not the answer. And doesn't this present a massive opportunity for the Jets in this set?
Well, poor play there from Gamble and the West Magpies. Once it's a two-pass to the field goal attempt, Newtown are going to have the kick pressure on him. The big thing, in the last 10 minutes, every yardage set the Newtown have had, they have made plenty of metres. Now they get that extra tackle. They start 20 metres out from their line. I think they're going to be in great position to take the one-pointer.
So who takes out the Tommy Raudonikis Cup, the man who won the 1972 Rothmans medal? So many tests for Australia, so many matches for New South Wales, including that inaugural State of Origin where he was the captain in 1980. The Jets 15 metres short of the halfway line. Quick play the ball, Brayley darting out of there. Gets away from one, got away from McKilrick. Pass comes to Nakora. They stole one on the bell a month ago against Canterbury. A try to Sione Katoa from Flanagan. Can they do it again here? Vasquez, that's the sort of charge they need. Inside the 40 now. Brayley urging things along. Williams, now to Moratis. Moratis saw half a gap, closed though by McQueen. Inside the 30, the Jets. 2.5 minutes or thereabouts to go. It comes from Brayley. Back to Dillon. This valiant servant for the Jets is stopped 18 metres away. Is this your time, Kyle Flanagan, for a field goal? 2.5 remain. Back to Flanagan. He steadies. He steadies. He's kicked it. He's kicked it, Kyle Flanagan. The Jets take the lead in the Tommy Raudonikis Cup. Ironically, by a halfback. What a terrific kick from Kyle Flanagan.
Well, it was beautifully set up. Joel, they had a couple of shifts either side of the ruck. They made some great metres, and then on their second last play, they got it to that left post. Gave Flanagan a chance with his right foot, kicked it straight over the black top. Well played from the Newtown Jets, and great kick from Flanagan.
Short kick off for the Magpies. Have they mastered this? It goes back. Well done to the Jets. Well done to the Jets.
Well, that's completely deflated the Magpies, hasn't it, Joel? There was no real kick chase on that kickoff. Now the Jets, all they've got to do is play their set out, fine touch, and they'll have the 2 competition points.
Well, this is converse to what happened last week for the Jets. They had the match wrapped up against Wyong.
and then they conceded 3 tries unanswered in 8 minutes and dramatically lost the game to Wyong. Jamie Soward asked Sione Katoa before the match, how did that feel? And he said, well, a win is basically all that will fix it. Can they do it? They've got 1:10 to hold on here, the Jets. Kick sideline now. Matt Head, is that the play?
Yeah, well, 100%. Straight into the touch. There's the hooker. Smart play.
So Brayley drives it into touch.
I think sometimes it's a game by game what you want to do there. With the Magpies, you'd find touch because then you can get your D-line set. They don't look as dangerous. But if it was the other way, the Magpies, I'd probably run the ball on the last because Newtown are better on the open when they get set pieces and things like that. So smart play there from Brayley to find touch. Now it's just all about scramble, disciplining your defence. There's going to be plenty of offloads trying to be thrown by the Magpies. And
so this is it. Malachi Watene-Zelezniak. 40 seconds remaining in the Tom Raudonikis Cup here in the return to Lidcombe. And they've served up a terrific game for those attending, for those watching at home. Ciolo, McKilrick, Godinay. So they're just keeping it nice and steady. The party's about to start though. McKilrick, Godinay. Here comes Gamble. Gamble the cutout ball. Halida Puck on the wing. Shuffles back, but he was in the way, so he's got to take the tackle. This is probably the last. There'll be many passes, you think. Gamble. Long pass, Godinay. Likewise, sends it back, Siren, and there's the bell. They'll play on. Watene-Zelezniak, Garner, he's got 2. Puts the kick through Kennedy. You think he beats him to it. And the Tommy Raudonikis Cup goes to Newtown. Well done, Singo. 23 points to 22. The Jets beat the Magpies. We'll break now. After this, we'll wrap up all the action here in the Intrust Super Premiership. A cracker, 22 all. This young man, Kyle Flanagan, steps up to the plate, nails the field goal. Well done, mate.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it was a bit scrappy win, but I'm sure the coach will be happy, and we'll be happy too, I guess.
I'll tell you what, you're making a bit of a habit. You were gone against the Bulldogs, and you've done it again.
Yeah, I know the coach won't be happy leaving too late, but yeah, win's a win, and we'll take it. Personally,
for you, Trent Hodkinson's left the club. You're the next in waiting. Do you feel like you're ready to go for first grade?
Yeah, I'm always learning, I guess, but if I get the opportunity from the old man, I'll definitely take it. But I'm loving my footy at the moment, and if the opportunity comes, I'll take it, yeah, definitely.
What are you thinking here with the field goal? Were you very confident about getting the job done?
I'll get into Blake Brayley about the pass. It wasn't right to my chest, but yeah, happy it went over.
It's very, very important, 2 competition points, Kyle. You sealed the deal. There are no golden point here in the Intrust Super Premiership. You came into this 8th position. Very valuable 2 points. Well done.
It was. We want to bounce back from last week, and yeah, lucky enough to get the win today.
Match winner, Kyle Flanagan. Well done, mate. So a big game, 23 points to 22. They had the lead. They were ready to go here. Here's the stats, gents. Look, 23 points to 22. Possession went the way of the Magpies, but the 2 points didn't.
Amazing finish in the ISP this afternoon, and yeah, Kyle Flanagan mentioned it wasn't his best afternoon, but yeah, they get out with another win. They lost a tight one last week, 23-22. What a game, Eddie.
Yeah, it was a good game, and disappointing from the West Magpies point of view. They kept the 0 in that second half, 22 points in the first half, and just couldn't go along with it.
It was a real big turning point just before half-time. Mareda scores 22-10 at half-time. And look, Williams had a starring second half, didn't he, Jack Williams?
Certainly did. They busted him down the right edge there, and as Eddie mentioned, tight support, not overplaying your hand, and then, you know, this play coming up here just before full time, where he just shows inside and then outside header. You can't ask for more from that from your half.
Yeah, we certainly can't, and it's probably a good learning experience for those halves to work out that they probably didn't play their best games today, but they worked on the second half, and they come up with the points in the second half. Great field goal from Flanagan, and much needed 2 points for the Newtown Jets.
That's what you play for, boys, isn't it? These moments to ice the game such as this. Flanagan did that. You've got to do that if you're going to be a first-grade halfback. It's identical here. Everything's identical, barring the field goal from Flanagan.
Yeah, well, Flanagan, as I mentioned to him off screen, he had a quiet afternoon in terms of his own standards, but when you kick the match winner like that and you're a halfback, you always go home happy.
Well, next week, what was the thing that impressed you the most?
Oh, I think if you're a young half at home, you just realise that your moment's you've got to be prepared for your moment when come the 80th minute, and that's what Kyle Flanagan did. He was below par but they hung in there. The try before half-time really turned the game on its head, and they were able to come here to a tough environment at Lidcombe and pull out a nice 2 points.
This was my highlight. It was the Tom Raudonikis Cup. It was seeing him and Singo. It was just great scenes all together, wasn't it, Matt? I love seeing the Rugby League and the New South Wales Rugby League getting behind this. Well done.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was running a little late, and you drive into the ground and you see all the supporters in their old West Magpies and Newtown Jets jumpers. They're walking the street. So it was a really exciting time driving to the game, and the game led to it.
Who have we seen today? Anyone that grabs your eye? Is Tyson Gamble knocking on the door now for a first-grade berth?
Oh, I think he'd have to be up there. I mean, Ivan Cleary watching him pretty close today. So a lot of those guys that are in and around that NRL system are always putting their hands up. But I'm a big believer that in the ISP, you need to be playing solid all the time. And Tyson Gamble, the couple of times we've seen him, has been a real standout for the West Magpies.
Well, there you go. They came into this, the West Magpies in second. They were trailing by 12, so they were completely up against it, the Jets. But from 8th position, they steal the game. Well done, and it's on again next week, as we mentioned, North Sydney Oval. But right now, Suncorp Super Netball, the Firebirds and the Fever.
Newtown is coming, hear the